Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today we're gonna have another one of those podcast style videos, and usually I've been bringing on Bradley because we're discussing technical stuff, but today it's gonna be all about VR games, so I'm gonna be bringing on the man himself, Gamertag VR. He plays a ton of games. This should be a nice conversation where we go back and forth discussing what games are coming out, what our favorite games are, hidden gems, what our outlook of the future of VR is, the Meta Quest 3, a whole bunch of topics are going to be covered. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know down in the comments if you liked my guest, if you like these podcast style videos, any feedback at all. I'd really appreciate it. Let's not waste any more time and get right into this. What's up, GT?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to have you on. Like I said, I think you're the perfect person for this job. I do a lot of game lists, talk about games. I don't put out nearly as much game content for you for multiple reasons. But yeah, I thought you're the perfect man for this job. So I don't want to waste anybody's time. I just want to start getting into some cool questions that people want to know about. And we'll start off with an easy one. So far, 2023, favorite VR game of the year?
Gran Turismo.
Okay, I can see that for sure. Mine is Vertigo 2.
Yeah.
So I'm just not a big racing fan. Like, I got into it. I saw the appeal. This is freaking awesome. I just don't want to spend my time playing a racing game. Gran Turismo was amazing. And the fact that a racing game actually, you know, captivated me for as long as it did says a lot about it, but it's just not for me. But I get it.
Yeah. Vertigo too. I think like it was very what's the sense of humor? Like a Rick and Morty kind of sense of humor.
Yeah, yep. Stuff. One thing that I love is just like the content varies so much.
It's crazy.
It's not that grind or just rinse and repeat that's become so common these days. This felt like an old school Half-Life. Like, you know, he called it a half-like, and he was dead on. That's what it looks like. But I don't want to spend. We could spend a year on that game. We've already spent more time than I wanted to. But that is a good segue into most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
It's got to be. Well, I say the rest of this year because I don't know if it's going to happen. I want to give a shout out to Arashi with Skydance. I'm actually really excited to check that out again because I think their first play around when I reviewed it, I'm very lucky. Like, the developer reached out to me afterwards with the review. He's been one of the best developers to kind of receive a semi-negative review from me and literally take it on board. He was like, I can see what you're saying.
I had the same exact experience with them. Dead on.
Yeah.
Same experience. I was a little negative in my review. And they came and said, listen, we heard you loud and clear. We're on it. Yeah,
and that's why I feel, because the game had so much potential, and it was good in some ways.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that this version, because it is like a remake, it's a remaster almost.
Yeah.
I really do feel that this could be the time that that game shines and we get that Tenchu of VR. So I'm hyped for that, but it's definitely Resident Evil 4 remake is the...
Yeah, I even forgot about that because I'm just like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Like, you know.
I guess so.
But again, really, am I playing Resident Evil 4 again? It's like buying Skyrim on another console at this point. It's like, I mean, I guess it's a full remake. It's gonna be amazing, you know. It's gonna be different, but come on. Again, I'm playing the same damn game again. I felt the same way before it came out on Quest. I'm like, oh, this game again. I'm not excited. I played it. I'm like, oh, shut up. This is awesome.
What an amazing port. What an amazing port.
Oh, my God. I don't think I've been on that for years. That was in...
Armature.
Armature, yeah. But I would say, though, what I'm really excited for right now is Crossfire Sierra Squad. That is top of my list right now.
That looks so sick.
Yeah.
That looks amazing. Yeah, I guess in the immediate future, it will be Crossfire.
Yeah, Crossfire without a doubt. I mean, I've just been excited for a while. It looks like that, you know, Michael Bay style action, just, you know, over the top. And then, you know, you have the co-op options, not the full campaign though, but you have the co-op options. And then they showed that realism mod, which I was, well, realism mode or whatever it was, where it's just like a much slower paced. You're not running in guns blazing. You're taking your time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is something for everyone. And I think I'd put that ahead of Firewall Ultra. And sequels generally just don't do fantastic in VR because, you know, people don't have that history. But
I'm going to bring up Asgard's Wrath 2.
I know. Same thing. People are like, what's this? I don't care.
It's so strange. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it, I don't know if it'll work. I don't think it will work as a headset promotion because, yeah, like the original wasn't on Quest. So why did they call it 2? Why didn't they make it sound like a separate story? Like it could have been Loki's Revenge. It could have been something, you know?
Yeah.
2?
I guess I agree with you on that because, and then they don't care about, PCVR at all anymore. So it's not like they're looking to sell the original Asgard, and it's not like they're bringing Asgard 1 onto the Quest. I don't think they've, decided to move forward with that. So yeah, 2 is probably not a great idea. That probably is counterproductive, like we just said about, sequel syndrome there. Lesser known games, hidden gems. What do you got? What's your favorite hidden gem?
And there's also a game that was my love for this was like Outrun and things like that. There's a game on PlayStation that is basically like Outrun, and you collect stuff, you unlock cars, and then this Neodori come up, and I was just like, oh, like I've heard of this game on Steam. Is this like and it is like an official port of the actual game, and I have a real love for it. I don't think anyone else would care. It's one of those games where, like, basically, I don't know how many tracks there are. I think there's like 1, 2, 3. So I don't know. I actually don't know how many environments there are. There's like 45 cars or more to unlock. There's loads of levels. I still haven't finished it. And you have to like race someone. There's speed cameras. You need to earn money. You need to collect fuel so your car doesn't get damaged and stuff. And I don't know why I find myself just playing it for like an hour most days. Like I just jump in. I'm going to play this for an hour, unlock a little bit, and that is my hidden gem of the year. Like I really enjoyed that. I made a short for it. I made a YouTube short and a tweet about it. Trying to get the developer some love. But yeah, like it's one of those games that especially with the way things are now with VR at the moment, that if you made a video on it, it wouldn't do anything. It'd be bad for me. It probably wouldn't do them too many favors because people wouldn't want to watch it. So. Yeah. So yeah, as you just said, like that is probably my hidden gem at the moment.
It's funny because sometimes you find the game that's like drop in, drop out, just like really good gameplay, and it's great like that. And for me, it's probably not as much as a hidden gem, but I love what is it? A Stellaris game.
Ghost Signal.
Ghost Signal, yeah. A Stellaris game. Ghost Signal is amazing. The first time I turned it on, I drained my Quest days. And like every once in a while when I have nothing going on, I put that game on. I love that. I think Mother Gunship Forge didn't get the respect it deserved. I think that's a really fun title. I really like Cards and Tankards, man. It's a free game.
Oh, I haven't played that.
There. Cards and Tankards is great. I'm not a card game guy. I'm not a trading card game guy. I never played Magic. I never played Blizzard's game. But I jumped in, and it's really like it's pretty easy to pick up, but it's complex, and it's like really social. So it's like going to a tavern and hanging out and just walk by people's tables and talk to them, and some people no hints. So it's really cool. I really like Cards and Tankards. That one is a hidden gem for me. So I know you're playing a ton of games. How often are you finishing your games?
For reviews, it's got to be like, if I don't finish a game, it's because I'm going to basically badmouth it and I don't want to play it. Like, simple as, just as a gamer, why would I want to... If I don't want to play a game, I want to explain why I don't want to play it. But apart from that, if I'm reviewing them, it's going to be 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And that, as a content creator, that kind of kills me. Because some people can take a 15-minute portion of a game, the same 15-minute portion as everyone else shows, and they would get more views than I would. And yet, I've obviously put in 12 hours or something like that. And that's where, like, even my wife would look at me and go, like, why don't you just do a gameplay video? But that doesn't give me... I won't look back on that video with a smile. Like, I'm proud of my reviews, Like,
I am 100% here with you on this. Like, when I review a game, 95% of the time, I've played the entire game. Maybe it's a roguelike and I had trouble beating it or something. But, there's a few off cases. But 95% of the time, I've completed that game. And I feel like if I didn't, it's a disservice to the people out there.
Yeah.
Like, and then maybe there's something at the end I missed that can change my opinion. There's a couple different things. And I just get, like, imposter syndrome. I'm like, no, you can't, you can't put your opinion out there unless, you're really 100% solid about it. Otherwise, no, I feel like I'm lying to people. So it is, and it doesn't work in our favor. You end up putting in 12 hours for one video when, like you said, you could just, you could have did 6 gameplay videos in that segment. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it is, and that's why I backed off away from doing reviews. I'm actually thinking, and I don't like bad mouthing stuff because I feel bad because I know even the crappy games, a lot of hard work went into them. But I think going forward, I'm actually going to be more critical and not just be like, hey, this new game's great. Hey, this new game's great. I'm going to kind of just be like, listen, like something like Everslot Invasion. I'm going to like take that and dissect it and be like, this is why this game doesn't work. It's a melee game, and your melee combat is the worst part of the game. Your animations are terrible. Your graphics are this, your graphics are that. So, that I think that might be my approach going forward, rather than just, instead of just doing a little bit of gameplay, or you just being like happy-go-lucky, everything in VR is amazing. Yeah. But so let's move into the topic. I know we were talking about this off screen a little bit earlier. Let's move into the topic of VR being dead. We just said that summer's here. There's always a lull in the summer. It's harder to play because it's hot. People actually want to go touch grass, maybe feel the sun on their skin. I don't know. So that actually puts things down. We're feeling it again right now. We're in it this year. Does it feel different than normal, or one of our regular VR is dead lulls?
Well, we started talking about PSVR2 basically. PSVR2 is like, last year we didn't have that. Like we were just still riding Quest 2, and to be fair, there wasn't really big games coming to Quest 2, and there wasn't for the whole year really. And I say that in comparison to Resident Evil 4 from 2021. There hasn't been a hit on Quest like that since, I don't think, to my memory. Yeah,
but
crazy.
We got sidetracked because we started discussing VR is dead, and then spent a year on PlayStation. But
sorry,
no, it's all good. It's all part of the fun. But I will agree that yes, we're in another one of these lulls. But I would say the one thing I'm noticing about VR, see, we used to go into like these steep lulls, and then everyone gets really excited. Like Quest 2, we're up here. Oh, PlayStation's coming. I feel like the ups are getting a lot smaller. So I feel like people were excited for Apple VR for like a day once they saw the price tag. Now we all knew that was the price tag coming, but the general consumer didn't. So they're like, this is amazing. What?
They went higher. They went high. I've never known anyone. They must have known the rumors of 3,000, and then they made it higher. I was like, that's impressive.
It was, and for an Apple product, that's still crazy. Like you heard people, at the show and gasp. They're like, introduced it for $3,500, like people like keeling over in the audience. But
it wasn't out of excitement; it was out of shock. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. So it was, So I feel like VR doesn't feel sexy anymore. Like that's the problem.
Do you think people have just got wise now? Do you think that, like word of mouth? There's 20 million plus quests out there, so opinions are shared. Like maybe having 20 million quests out there does basically give a real. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the mystique is gone. So VR is not sexy anymore. So it's going to be harder to sell the next generation. People know what they're in for. Some people are still left with that, oh, it's just a gimmick still. Some people are still left with that. Other people are like, nah, it's cool, but it's, if you're into a certain type of gamer, it's not for you. And I'm actually there. As much as I love VR, I do not think it's for everyone. I absolutely do not think it's for everyone. Because like if you are someone who likes deep, story-driven experiences, AAA titles, RPGs, you're not going to find them in VR, unfortunately. But
agreed.
But again, totally sidetracked from VR is dead. It's not. It's in a lull. I just think it's a little bit less sexy now. However, I think the banger games are on the way.
I agree.
I think some banger titles are on the way, which should revitalize it.
Yeah, I hope so too. One I'm really looking forward to is Phasmophobia on PSVR 2. Personally, I'm really looking forward to playing that.
That game's great
with some people. Yeah, it is such a good game. So scary. What's like your? I mean, we talked about Resident Evil 4, didn't we, earlier?
Yep.
And some upcoming games, but what are like your? Is it like are you doing any format like PSVR2 and Quest or just Quest? Or?
I cover everything. Yeah. I mean, I cover everything because I'm curious. I want to know what's out there. I want to experience everything. I'm not like a good game's a good game. I don't care what platform it's on. I don't care. Good. It's Nintendo. It's Xbox. It's PlayStation. It's VR. I don't care. But Asgard looks good. Go ahead.
Do you expect Quest 3 to deliver that? What are your expectations?
I discussed this with Bradley, and we're expecting Quest 3 between the enhanced performance and developers' knowledge on optimization now after 4 years or so with the Quest. We're expecting the Quest 3 to deliver a VR experience close to PCVR on lower end hardware from 2016 and 2017.
That is an interesting take because this is what a developer told me. He said it bridges the gap between Quest 2 and PCVR.
Okay.
And I was a bit like, that sounds like bullshit. I was like, nah, man, I don't know. But do you know what? I think your description of expectation actually makes sense. Like that, it would be that, like a low end PCVR. And do you know what? If it gets like that, that's fucking excellent.
That's amazing. Yeah. So if you look at a hardware standpoint, no, the numbers don't add up. You go back a couple years, you look at a GTX 1060. It's a 4 teraflop card. The XR2 Gen 2 is a 2.1 teraflop device. So it's half the power of a GTX 1060. But again, and I've talked about this a million times, it's not all about raw power. I mean, Windows has a ton of additional overhead. And PCVR is notoriously not optimized well. When Quest, optimization is in its blood. It has to be optimized, so the game's just not going to run, or it's going to just be a terrible game. So they've gone a long way in optimization. So does optimization carry 2 teraflops of performance? No. But, they've also learned, we've come a long way in making VR games that it should help close that gap. So better hardware, more knowledge, we're a lot closer. I think we're definitely there. And like that brings me into games like we saw everyone was sharing the picture of VRSO bare knuckle boxing. That looks that looks a little bit too good to be true for Quest 2. That looks damn good.
Yeah, I said that last night on our little podcast. I was just like, I would call bullshit. Like if someone said, "Here's like, do you want to put some money on it?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm putting money on that." Is a PC screenshot.
I mean, they say it's a MetaQuest screenshot, but here's the thing. Like you said earlier, you go to side quests, you crank up the bitrate, crank up the resolution.
Yeah,
you get a really good image running at 1 frame per second. Hey, that's a picture. You only need 1 frame for a picture. So, I mean, it can be. And then like, that's maybe what it'll look like on Quest 3. So sure, that's a picture from Quest 2, but they'll have to scale back. Is there anything else you think we should talk about?
Dude, as you said, I think we literally explored everything in gaming right now.
Well, we do have one more thing we can mention because this video will go live tomorrow. We're going to be doing a special event for Among Us.
Oh, yes, we are, aren't we, on Thursday?
Yeah, we're going to be doing it. So that would be tomorrow because I'm going to put this video out on Wednesday.
Yep.
So, tomorrow we're going to be doing a special live event of Among Us. You guys can join us and the developers of the game, and we're going to be playing, and we're going to be showing off their new map. I'm excited for that.
Polus Point, is it?
Polus Point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
All right, dude. Well, I will see you Thursday for that event, and thanks for joining. It has been a lot of fun. Guys, again, go subscribe to GT, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, give it a thumbs up. Thank you.